Esposito was Elvis's road manager and right-hand man. I froze. If he was trying to reach me, something must be terribly wrong. I told Michelle to take her car and quickly follow me home. I made a U-turn in the middle of the street and raced back to the house like a mad woman. Every conceivable possibility went through my mind. Elvis had been in and out of the hospital all year. There were times when he wasn't even sick that he'd check in for a rest, to get away from pressures or just out of boredom. It had never been anything too serious. I thought about our daughter Lisa, who was visiting Elvis at Graceland and was supposed to come home that very day. Oh God, I prayed. Please let everything be all right. Don't let anything happen. Please, dear God. I ran every red light and nearly hit a dozen cars. At last, I reached home, and as I swerved down the driveway, I could hear the phone ringing from inside the house. Please don't hang up, I prayed, jumping out of the car and running toward the door. I'm coming, I yelled. I tried to get my key in the lock, but my hand wouldn't stop shaking. Finally, I got into the house, grabbed the receiver, and yelled, "Hello, hello." All I could hear was the hum of a long-distance line. Then a stricken, faint voice. "Scylla, it's Joe." "What's happened, Joe?" "It's Elvis." "Oh my God, don't tell me." "Scylla, he's dead." "Joe, don't tell me that, please. We've lost him." "No, no." I begged him to take back his words. Instead, he was silent. "We've lost him." His voice broke, and we both began to cry. "Joe, where's Lisa?" I asked. "She's okay. She's with Grandma." "Thank God, Joe. Send a plane for me, please. And hurry, I want to come home." As I hung up, Michelle and Mother, who had just arrived, embraced me, and we cried in each other's arms. Within minutes, the phone rang again. For a moment, I hoped for a miracle. They were calling me back to tell me that Elvis was still alive, and that it was all right, and that it had just been all a dream. But there were no miracles. "Mommy, Mommy," Lisa was saying, "something's happened to Daddy." "I know, baby," I whispered. "I'll be there soon. I'm waiting for the plane now. Everybody's crying, Mommy." I felt helpless. What could I say to her? I couldn't even find words to comfort myself. I feared what she would be hearing. She didn't yet know that he had died. All I kept saying over and over was, "I'll be there as soon as I can." Tried to stay in Grandma's room, away from everyone. In the background, I could hear a grief-stricken Vernon moaning in agony. "My son's gone. Dear God, I've lost my son." Fortunately, a child's innocence provides its own protection. Death was not yet a reality to her. She said she'd go out and play with Laura, her friend. I hung up and walked around in a daze, still numb with shock. The news hit the media instantly. My phones did not stop ringing, with friends trying to cope with the shock. Members of the family grasping for explanations, and the press demanding statements. I locked myself in the bedroom and left instructions that I would not speak to anyone and that I wanted to be alone. In fact, I wanted to die. Love is very deceiving. Though we were divorced, Elvis was still an essential part of my life. Over the last years, we'd become good friends, admitting the mistakes we'd made in the past, and just beginning to laugh at our shortcomings. Elvis's posters, and that his records were being played constantly in advance of his arrival. Good old Colonel, Elvis had said. We've come a long way. He's still putting out that same old stuff. It's a wonder people are still buying it. I loved hearing Elvis laugh, something he had been doing less and less, just days before that last call. I'd heard that his spirits were down and he was contemplating breaking up with Ginger Alden, his girlfriend. I knew him well enough to realize that this was not an easy move for him to make. If only I'd known that would be the last time I talked to him, I would have said so much more. Things I wanted to say and never had. Things I'd held inside me for so many years because the timing was always wrong. He had been a part of my life for 18 years. When we met, I had just turned 14. The first 6 months I spent with him were filled with tenderness and affection. Blinded by love, I saw none of his faults or weaknesses. He was to become the passion of my life. He taught me everything: how to dress, how to walk, how to apply makeup or wear my hair, how to behave, how to return love his way. Over the years, he had become my father, husband, and very nearly God. Now he was gone, and I felt more alone and afraid than ever in my life. The hours went by slowly before Elvis's private plane, the Lisa Marie, arrived. Behind closed doors, I sat